Normally, Terry, we have a video. Only I forgot to pull it up this morning. I made it, but I forgot to add it. So we're here live without the funky music, Terry.
Yeah, I was waiting.
It's a little bit of an unusual. And as I hit the button for the little subscribe thing for YouTube and all that stuff, I went to go hit the button for the video, and then I was like, "Oops, I forgot to put it up there."
I couldn't do my dance.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing you didn't start dancing, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That would have been a little bit on the funny side there. Oh, anyway, here we are again on Saturday. We're going to cover some stakes races today, Terry. So this should be a lot of fun. Today we're covering the Withers, we're covering the Holy Bull, we're covering the Santa Monica Stakes and the San Pasqual Stakes, and I think a couple of them, Terry, are actually Kentucky Derby qualifying races.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. So.
And if you haven't done so already, our newest addition to the team, and I really don't want to mess up his last name, so forgive me if you will, but I think it's Pomerleau. Is that Chris Pomerleau? I think. I hope, Chris, that's right. You'll forgive me if it's not, I'm sure. But if you head on over to horseracingtoday.net, he's got his analysis over there, and he's done pretty well so far on the first couple. He had that real long shot a couple of weeks ago in his picks. That he mentioned that eight horse that won at like 15 to 1, 30 to 1, something like that.
Yep.
So I don't know that we're going to get any of that today, Terry, because you have some pretty short fields in all of these races today.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I do have one that I think is going to do really well, but nobody else seems to like it. But you'll see it.
Well, we'll find out when we get there, right? That's how racing goes, Terry.
That's it. Yeah.
Right? It's one person's picks against another, which is fun. So the first race at Aqueduct's probably this. Hold on, let's bring this up here. Let me pull up the right sheet. The Withers. It is race number 8 at Aqueduct. It's 1 1/8 miles, Terry, on the dirt track. Well, all of these Kentucky Derby ones are going to be on the dirt, right?
Yep.
And this one has a field of, I think, 11, if I remember correctly. Yes, a field of 11. So there's an opportunity for some prices here.
Yes.
If you look at the races at 1 1/8 at Aqueduct, Terry, so far, there have been 18 of them, Terry. 12 were won by speed, 8 of which went wire to wire. And as I deem it, it's a barbell approach where the horse is on the inside and the outside. So the rail horse and 8+ have done the most damage so far. And as we like to do in these particular races on Saturday, we take a look at the early pace setup, and this is how it looks like it's going to work out. And I have the wrong one up here, doesn't it? That's not good, is it? Let's get the right one in here, Terry.
Okay.
I know I did this damn thing. Where is it at? In any case, I know I got this part right, Terry, I think. Yes, I got this part right. This is how the speed figure stuff looks.
Okay.
So if you take a look at this, you'll see here that the 9 horse, I think the 9 horse has probably only run once. That's my guess. Yes, early voting, Terry, is one that has the top speed figure, average speed figure for this crew. What are you seeing here that you like or you don't like?
Well, I like number 7.
I don't mean the horses. I mean the charts, Terry.
Oh, I like it. The only thing is I guess you'd have to know that, like on the number 9, that it only had ran one race, because the lines that go through that shows how they've done on whatever races they've had. And the longer the lines, the more races they've had.
Well, not necessarily the longer the lines, the more races. The longer the lines are more of the tops and the bottoms, if you will.
Okay.
Because the top of the line, if you look here again, is the maximum, and the bottom of the line is the minimum. So that's how that plays out. Let's see if I can find real quick what I did with that one there. Did I put in the wrong one this morning? Let's see. Open. Did I put it here? I thought it was in this one here. Page 1, page 2. I don't know where it is, to be honest with you, Terry. So let's see. What's this one say? No, I don't. I guess I just didn't put it in correctly. That's all. So we just will have to skip the pace and go straight to the horses. Sorry for the confusion to start the day, Terry.
That's all right.
So number 1, Constitutional Lawyer, Terry. What do you like about Constitutional Lawyer?
Well, let me get there. I like, it broke its maiden in its last race at Aqueduct at today's distance and received the highest last speed rating. So
Yeah, the horse did run the highest last speed rating, Terry, off a maiden win. That's really about the only time I'm a fan of the horses coming out of a maiden race, especially if they're stepping up to like a graded stakes race like this. That they really don't win those races at a high rate. Following afterwards, it was a big jump up, Terry, and that was on the mud. I don't know what the track is like over at Aqueduct today, but I imagine it's not the driest track in the world. It's been kind of rainy and cold. One thing I do like in there, though, in that early pace figures, Terry, you see that the horse did increase its fractions real sharply last time out with it in strong improvement in its early pace numbers. And number 2, Terry, is Grantham. It's a horse that also broke its maiden last time out at Turfway Park in its first run on a synthetic track. Can it take the synthetic form and run it on Aqueduct dirt?
Well, you never know. You know, they paid $280,000 for this horse, so it's pretty quite a bit of money. And the horse actually ran second in debut race and then won the next race at Turfway Park.
Yeah, and it also, if you look to me, the one thing I'm a little bit worried about in there is that middle of pace kind of tailed off a little bit, and really not much improvement from race 1 to race 2. And the workouts since have been only okay. The debut that you mentioned finished second, but 5.5 lengths. So it kind of really didn't really do anything at the end of the race except just kind of hang on to its position. I would have liked to see it improve its position, but did come back, bounce back to win as the 4-5 favorite. So the fans definitely were on top of that one. Number 3, Smarten Up, Terry, something we probably both ought to do from time to time. This one has a bullet workout at Parks on the January the 28th. Last ran on January the 1st, the Jerome Stakes at Aqueduct. Got a sloppy track then and finished second with a nice little move in the lane.
Yeah, that's true. And then also has a really sharp workout on January 28th at Parks, best of 9. This horse has a early speed running style, which I think will help quite a bit. And it's really odd. I was looking at it. It either breaks really late or it breaks pretty close to the top. So
I would imagine that bullet workout means they want to get it out of the gate as fast as it can. It's got a little bit of black type around it too. It raced against Cavassier, one of the horses that we'll be talking about in a moment, and finished behind it. Number 4 is Gilded Age, ridden by Kendrick Carmouche. William Mott is the trainer, Terry. Horse has won one race. That was its last race, a maiden special weight, $120,000 variety down at Churchill Downs. Been working out since, and the workouts since have been at best bad.
Yeah, they're not all that impressive. Although this colt has the best dirt speed among today's starters. So, and I like Kendrick Carmouche in the saddle. So
I like him better when he's on a fast horse, Terry, not one that seems to break slowly like this one.
Yeah.
Number 5 is Cavassier. We mentioned that he did top a horse that we mentioned already last time. This is a horse that won its last time on slop. It won the Jerome Stakes, Terry, as a 4-1. So not the heaviest favorite, but still one that was decently bet. Can handle the distance. It's run a mile and an eighth already before and won that race, and is undefeated in 2 races at Aqueduct. Is it going to make it 3 straight?
Well, you just never know. I know the trainer wins 21% of the time when he brings a winner of its last race back to race again. Has 2 really good workouts in a row, and like you said, won 2 races in a row at Aqueduct at today's distance. So.
Well, one, and it's got the $150,000. So it went from the maiden to the non-graded stakes and won that. Number 6, Unbridled Bomber, Terry. Horse also ran in the Jerome. So you got a lot of Jerome horses coming back here for the Withers. Is there anything you see in its workouts, a bullet workout? Do you think it's enough for the horse to make up the difference?
Well, that was a good workout, but ran 4th in his first race, despite breaking slow and then going 3 wide in the turn. Anyway, the bullet workout is good. The horse never does get a good break, so he's going to close from deep, and a lot of those horses they just don't quite get there. So.
Yeah, and I don't look at the late pace numbers being strong enough for Unbridled Bomber to get past the other closers. So if it's going to get off to a bad break, then I want to see some really strong late pace numbers to warrant taking it above other closers. I don't see that with Unbridled Bomber. No need to worry, Terry. Number 7, This is a horse that's coming from Parks. I'm not the biggest fan of the Parks to Aqueduct angle or the Parks, the small track to the big track angle. Can this one break that curse for me?
Well, I think there is no need to worry because I like this horse quite a bit. The horse is the morning line 30-1 shot, longest shot on the board in the morning line. But won 2 races in a row at Parks at long odds. And the trainer wins 21% of the races when bringing a winner back to their last race. This horse has improved his speed ratings every single race.
So you figure it's going to do it again. It sounds like that's your upset special there, Terry, is what it sounds like to me.
That is.
So yeah, the track right now at Aqueduct is listed as muddy. Let's see if how many scratches are in this race too. Hold on a second. Right now, every single horse looks like it's ready to go. So there aren't any scratches in this race.
And if you look at No Need to Worry at the off track, he's 1 for 1. So.
Yeah, he won that one at the off track. I maybe he can get there. I just don't see those fractions being strong enough to get it done. Oya. I don't know. Oya, maybe. So horse that did run last time finished second by a neck at a $500,000 race. So it's run for the most money out of any horse in the field here. It had Trevor McCarthy up then. It has Trevor McCarthy up now. It was the second best run that horse had, probably the best run considering the stakes that it was running for. You think this horse, off of a couple good workouts, can find a way to make up that neck with Trevor?
I don't have it as one of my picks, but this horse did run second in his last race at Aqueduct and only lost by a nose. And that was after being bumped at the 6.5 furlongs and then going 3 wide and then being bumped again late. So
maybe you can get over that bumping. Early voting, Terry. Jose Ortiz making the trip from where he's been down in Florida back up into New York. This is a horse that won last time out in its debut for Chad Brown, and Jose went off at about an even money favorite. 1 for 1. Chad Brown, when he goes from the maiden race to the next start, wins at about 31%. So that's a pretty good number.
Yeah, and you need to watch out for this horse because, as we said, he won debut race really easily at Aqueduct at a mile. And the Chad Brown wins 30% of the time after a maiden win, and he brings the horse back for the second race. He was heavily bet in the debut, and the trainer in the last 14 days has had 5 starts, 2 wins, and a third. And this horse has a sharp workout on January 28th of 49-1. Brazing in 4 furlongs was the 15th best out of 139.
Mr. Jefferson, moving on up, Terry. Can he move on up from a Jerome 6th place finish by 10 lengths? Is there anything that you think that can turn this horse's fortunes around?
I really don't. Tried 2 at Aqueduct without success. And, the jockey, Eric Council, is doing really well in the last 7 days. 11 starts, 3 wins, and 2/3. But, yeah, I don't think this horse, I think he's overmatched here.
Yeah, I think he's probably out of. The only thing I could see here, though, and again, he's not running on a muddy track. If he had caught a fast track, he's won 2 out of 3 on a fast track. Cook Creek, number 11, Manny Franco. It's a horse that should be up near the front. Was the betting favorite, Terry, in the Jerome Stakes. Didn't manage to win, and perhaps in its second start off a layoff, you can see this horse improve and maybe get itself into the winner's circle.
It's a possibility, although another one I didn't use. I mean, finished in the money 100% of the time in his career, and he's won 2 races. And I really like jockey Manny Franco, who in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 11 starts in 3 seconds. And I really think this race is really wide open. Constitutional Lawyer, Conservor, and Early Bowling, I think, are the speed horses that'll go to the front. And I think No Need to Worry and Cook Creek will close to try and win, but I think No Need to Worry will be successful.
So you got the 30-1 shot, No Need to Worry. So what are your numbers on how are you ranking them?
Okay, I like number 7, No Need to Worry. Then I like number 9, Early Voting. And then I like number 5, Conservor. And then I like number 1, Constitutional Lawyer.
I'm going number 9, Early Voting on top with Constitutional Lawyer. So 9-1. Cavarcier, number 5 is my third choice. And I'm going with number 11, Cook Creek, as my 4th selection in the Withers. The next race that we're going to cover today, Terry, hopefully I got this one right, is I got the right graphs and stuff this time. We're going to head on over to Gulfstream Park, where they're, I think, already in the third race. But we're going to talk about the Holy Bull, Terry, which is 1.25 miles on the main track. It's not even one full turn around that track, which is it's how big Gulfstream is, I guess, 1.1 miles.
Yeah.
Looking at 1.25 miles at this 1.16 race, Terry, they've had 8 of them so far. 100% of them, Terry, 8 out of 8 were won by speed. Only 2, however, went wire to wire, but the rail, Terry, has won 3 out of those 8 races. And let's see if this time I got it right. Fingers crossed, Terry, that I got the right stuff in there today. Do I have it in the right place? Yay, I got it. So this looks like the early pace setup and the late pace setup. Looking at coming out of the gates, Simplification and CAJUN'S Magic do have an advantage over the white ABARRIO and Giant Game and Tis the Bomb. And on the way to the finish line, Terry, DONEGAL has by far the best late pace figures. White ABARRIO and Giant Game are a step or two slower in the lane. And then again, if we look at the speed figures and how these horses have played out in this 9-horse field, Terry, you will see that the 8-horse, it looks to me, is one that has the highest average, but it hasn't run that many races, only 3 so far. And they've been very consistent. So that's probably why you see such a very tight arrow. But you see number 4 and number 5, you have Simplification and CAJUN'S Magic. They're the ones that have reached the highest mark in terms of their speed figures. So I think this is another race where there's going to be some opportunities for different horses perhaps to find their way into the winner's circle. And the Holy Bull is another race that is a Kentucky Derby qualifier with 10 points being awarded to the winner. So keep an eye on some of these horses because sometimes these Florida horses do pretty well come Derby time. Number 1, GALT, Terry, does get to ride that crazy fast rail. Won its last race at Gulfstream Park. It was on the rail, Terry. The nice closing effort. It was his maiden score, but it wasn't the highest last race speed figure. And as I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of going from the maiden to the stakes unless it's accompanied by a great number.
Yeah, I agree with that. It won its last race at Gulfstream, as you said, but I think this may be a little tough for him in this stage of his career.
All right. Number 2 is DONEGAL. Looks to me like DONEGAL has some crazy late pace numbers, Terry. And if this horse is anywhere near the lead, I think coming out of that turn, it's going to be next to impossible for the rest of the field to hold him off.
Yeah, this horse won a grade 2 in his last race at Aqueduct, and the distance won't be a problem at all. He's already won at this distance. He's got a high percentage jockey and a hot trainer, Todd Pletcher, who the 2 of those combined have the last 14 days have had 6 starts, 3 wins, 1 second, 1 third, as a sharp workout, 49 and change, breezing, third best at 22, and his speed ratings improving every single race.
Just got to wonder, though, if that speed bias is going to come work against him. Number 3, ELOQUIST, Terry, third start off a layoff, did match up against DONEGAL a little while ago and finished 5th out of 8, 14 lengths behind DONEGAL. I don't know that it has anything in its workouts to make up 15 lengths.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's only had one race. It was his maiden race. It was a 42K, and he's not a horse I would use at this time.
All right. Then number 4 is Simplification. Terry, it won $150,000 Mucho Macho Man Stakes by 4 lengths. It looks to me like this horse tends to win either big, so the one win by 4 lengths, the other win by 16 lengths, or it can kind of fade a little bit at the end of the race. Which version are we going to get?
Yeah, I don't know for sure. He's a speed horse. He won his last race at Gulfstream, as you said, and at a mile. And his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. They're actually tied. He has a really good trainer jockey combination that in the last 14 days of 4 mounts, 2 ends and a third, and he's moving up in class from his last start.
Number 5, CAJUN'S Magic, Terry. This one should be pretty close to the pace as well, as I mentioned. I don't think it's going to be. I think the 4 is going to be your pace setter. Simplification. CAJUN'S Magic probably going to play the part of co-pilot. It has run in 3 consecutive non-graded stakes races, upping the ante each time. $100,000 purse, $200,000 purse. Last time out ran for $400,000. I think this is one that you have to consider, although I'm kind of curious as to whether it's going to find the winner's circle, although it's had some success at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, sure has. Never been out of the money, winning 2 out of 5 races. And his last race speed rating was the best. The trainer, whenever he runs in dirt starts, he wins 17% of those. This horse ran second in his last race, and his best dirt speed is fastest among the starters. He tied actually with Simplification, number 4 horse.
And just the thing is, the workouts for me past that September race, he had a run good one on January the 8th. It was a nice workout there. And the only horse I think in the field that's gotten to the better side of 100 on the speed number. Number 6 is Tis the Bomb. Terry, this is another one that I think last time out kind of bad start and closed really hard. But otherwise, I think this horse wants to be a little bit closer to the front. Although it spent most of its time running on turf, now it returns to dirt where it debuted and didn't run so well. Do you think that trainer Kenneth McPeak is making the right move here, going from turf to dirt?
Yeah, I do. And this trainer wins 19% of the time when he does that. So he certainly knows something about it. And then he ran second at Del Marte after trouble in a grade 1 race. I don't think going from turf to dirt will be the problem. Because if you look at July 2nd, that'll give you an idea why.
All right, next horse up on the Spinning the Wheel is the name of the horse, ridden by Julien Leparoux, making its first start since about Thanksgiving, Terry, where it won its maiden $120,000 special weight at Churchill Downs. It's come back to put some nice workouts in, Terry, though this is another closer where it looks to me like speed is the way to go.
Yeah, this horse is a real deep closer, as you can see. It's one of these broke his maiden in his last race at Churchill Downs. He does have a sharp workout on January 29th, though.
Number 8 is White ABARRIO. This is a horse that it also broke its ran last in the Kentucky Jockeys Golden Cup over at Churchill Downs. It finished 3rd by 6, but prior to that, won 2 races very easily, Terry. It's gone and worked out at Gulfstream Park. It's going to put in the bullet and go, as I call it, Terry. Bullet workout here, and then it goes to the track. Ran twice at Gulfstream Park, Terry, and has yet not to visit the winner's circle.
That's true. He's been off more than 2 months, though, but had a bullet workout, best of 40. And then he switches to a high percentage winning trainer, and he switches to a high percent winning jockey. He finished 3rd in his last race, and he has a really sharp workout.
All right, and then let's head on over to number 9, Giant Game. Does he have Giant Game today? Last ran at Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He obviously ran in that race against Corniche and Papa Cap and managed to finish 3rd, probably shocking a lot of people.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just going to say. Yeah, he really did shock a lot of people, including myself. I was there, and I did not use this horse. Switches to a high percentage winning jockey, Louis says, and he finished 3rd in his last race. He has a sharp workout on January 30th. And I think this is another wide open race. I think White ABARRIO, yeah, Simplification and Cajun Magic, they'll try for the lead. And Tis a Bomb will close from really deep. And I think we'll get into the exotics. Mo Dongo will be mid-pack and close to win.
You got Mo Donegal winning. Okay, so what's your order of finish, Terry?
Number 2, Mo Donegal. And then I like number 6, Tis the Bomb. And then I like number 8, White ABARRIO. And then I like number 5, Cajun Magic.
Cajun Magic. So I'm going to go White ABARRIO on top. The horse has just kicked some rear end at Gulfstream Park so far. Simplification, I think, is another one that should do pretty well on a fast track. CAJUN'S Magic. So those 2 speed horses probably out to the front. And then Mo Donegal, I would probably want to rank that horse a little bit higher, Terry. I'm just worried that the speed bias is going to work against him. In an 11-horse field, if he doesn't get a good trip and he ends up getting like a tough trip, it could end up not working to his advantage. So, I do think he's probably the best horse in the field, though. Just trips make races, right?
Yep, that's true.
So now we're going to head on over to Santa Anita today, Terry, where I think it should be sunny and warm, right?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, been nice down there here in the last few days, I think.
And this one is the Santa Monica Stakes. It's a grade 2, Terry. They're going to run 7 furlongs on the main track. It's one turn going all the way back to the chute. They've run 9 races at the meet, and 8 of them were won by speed, with 4 of 9 going wire to wire, Terry. There is an inside 3 bias with a little bit of emphasis on the rail. Let's see how the early pace looks like in this race. MERNEITH is the one that's going to likely get the lead, Terry, followed by, and MERNEITH has a pretty good advantage over Full of Grace and KALYPSO. On the way home, Terry, CC is a powerhouse in the lane, Terry. Those late pace numbers are off the charts. And then if we look at how these horses have run, their average speed rating and their tops and bottoms, you will see CC is, well, that's probably why it's the 3-5 morning line favorite, Terry.
Yeah.
Let's run through this short field, only a handful of horses. KALYPSO, Terry, on that high win rate rail. Second start off a layoff. My only concern here is last time out on that second start off a layoff, it did back up a little bit, but in the race post debut made a big jump. So if we get the post debut jump, more than enough to win.
Yeah, this horse likes the track. He's been in the money all 5 starts, winning 3 of those. And he won 2 out of 3 races at today's distance. So that won't be a factor. Only disappointing race was last April, but he bled, was eased, and walked off. He won his last race at Santa Anita at 7 furlongs, and that was a grade 1 race. And then his trainer, Bob Bathard, and jockey John Velasquez, in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 5 races, has a really good workout, 5 furlongs, 59.3. It was the second best out of 48.
CC, Terry, 3-5 morning line favorite. Horse like some Santa Anita, ran there 8 times, got a photo session in 5 of them, Terry, including the Breeders' Cup in November when you were there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I like this horse. It's going to be hard to beat. It's won 8 out of 16 races, and as you said, he ran at the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and she won that. She won that race pretty
kind of easily.
Yeah, convincingly. Yeah, last 4 speed ratings are all above 100. Highest last race speed rating, won last race at Del Mar, 7 furlongs. Best dirt speed as fast as among today's starters. And really has a really good sharp workout, 47 flat for second best out of 87.
Number 3, MERNEITH. This is the horse that I believe, according to the pace numbers, should be the one that they're all chasing out of the gates. This is another Bob Baffert horse with Edwin Maldonado on the horse. Been in the money, Terry, 7 out of 7 at Santa Anita. Second start off a layoff, and in between races has a bullet workout.
Yeah, absolutely. This horse finished in the money and at Santa Anita, 7 out of 7 races, and he's won 2 of those. The only loss was a race on the turf that she tried. I don't think she really likes that. And has, as you said, Bob Baffert has a bullet workout, 5 furlongs, 59 and change, the best out of 48.
Number 4 is Full of Grace, Terry. Only 3 trips across the Santa Anita track with only a second in there. Did try its luck. The last time it won was at Turf Paradise. I don't know that this horse has the speed figures to keep pace with the rest of these. In a 5-horse field that pays out 5 horses, maybe it's just there to click to fifth place money.
I think you're right, because I think this race is way out of her league. I think she's the oldest in the race too. I think she's 6th, and most of the others are less than that. So,
And then the last horse in this field, Terry, is Park Avenue. That's where Terry has his secondary home. And more horse making his 4th start off a layoff, Terry. Last time out in the La Canaria grade 3, the horse had some huge early race, 2 furlong, 4 furlong improvement. I love to see that. Did fade off at the end of that. And since then, Terry, it's had a couple workouts. It should be fit. The question is Is it going to be able to do what it did last time out of the gates?
Yeah, I know. It was ran second in the last race, and that was a grade 3. And he has a high percentage winning jockey, Juan Hernandez. And the trainer, John Sadler, wins 24% of the time when going from a route to a sprint. This may be really good for going at the shorter distance.
So you've been telling us how you think these races are going to play out. How's this one going to play out, Terry? And then when you're done telling us how it plays out, give us your picks in order.
Okay, KALYPSO and Park Avenue will go for the lead, and I think CC will close just to win the race. I don't really see anything happening unless there's some problem during the race.
Yeah, I think MERNEITH is going to get to the lead. Going to probably have a little bit of trouble, a little bit of company. With only a 5-horse field, sometimes if you can get off to a good pace, you get to the lead and not run that fast, you can beat a big favorite like CC. I think if any horse is going to do it, it's going to be MERNEITH. But I agree with you, Terry. I think CC is going to sit right off to probably third in this, probably sit right behind whoever's on the lead, unless they're going way too fast. And then when they come out of that turn, they're going to turn on the jets, and that's that.
Yeah, so she's my top pick, and then the MERNEITH is my second pick, the 3-horse. KALYPSO, the 1-horse, is my third pick, and Park Avenue, my 4th.
I have them in the same exact order, Terry.
Okay,
that's good. I don't see that's going to be maybe those 3 horses behind CC could be a little bit different, but it's tough to say. And then number 8, Terry, is the San Pasqual Stakes, Terry. This one is a mile and an 1/8. They haven't run many at the course so far. Only one so far. It was won by a horse that went wire to wire. So that's all that, not a big enough data set to really say that it matters whatsoever at all.
Yeah.
So if we look at how the early pace is probably likely to set up out of this race, Terry, American THEOREM is likely to be the one that gets the lead, Terry, followed by American THEOREM, 8 Rings, and Law Professor. They're not all that far apart. So any one of those 3 wouldn't shock me if they were on the lead. On the way home, Express Train and 8 Rings have the best late legs over the field, but not that much stronger than American THEOREM or Spielberg, named obviously after the director.
Yeah.
And if you look at how these horses, their speed figures lay out, Terry, you'll see they have a lot of them. There's a lot of variation between the top and the bottom. But Express Train's average race is better than the top race for American THEOREM. Let's go through the field and see what you think. The first horse, Terry, in this race is Kiss Today Goodbye.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think she's going to kiss Today goodbye, at least.
At least the race anyway, right?
Yeah. Recent form has not been good and eased in his last race. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, tied with another horse. And he does have a sharp workout on January 27th.
Yeah, you see it's faced off against a lot of these horses in here too, Terry. And it did beat 8 Rings, though, 2 races back at the native driver race.
Yeah.
And so that's not, and only missed by half a length in that race. But you see Express Train black type in front of it constantly. The good news, I guess, is it's won 2 out of its 7 races at Santa Anita and only managed to win 1 out of 9 races anywhere else. Express Train, Terry, has run at Santa Anita 8 times, finished in the money 7 of them, run at the distance 3 times with a win and a pair of thirds. Second start off a layoff, Terry. The horse has a history of either bouncing up a little bit or bouncing down a little bit. I think with that coming out of the barn with that triple-digit speed figure, there's a chance the horse could bounce down.
Well, that could be true, but did close the win his last race at Santa Anita. It was a grade 2 race at San Antonio, and he stretches out to 1 mile and an 1/8, which he's performed well at in the past. He's finished in the money 80% of the time during his career and won 33% of the races. And he's got a very good workout, actually a couple of workouts in a row.
Doesn't really string wins together, though. That's a little bit of a concern of mine, too. Number 3, American THEOREM is one that can be on the lead, Terry. Last time out, won an optional claiming with Mike Smith in the irons, heading up to a graded stakes race. The last time it ran in a graded stakes race, it was in the Rebel Stakes, where it did not fare very well. Prior to that, it ran in the American Pharoah Stakes at Santa Anita, where it finished second by 6 lengths to 8 rings.
Yeah, and this horse did win its last race at Santa Anita, and it does have the positive of Mike Smith being in the irons. And Mike Smith here recently has really surprised a lot of people with some long shot winners. So.
Number 4, 8 rings, Terry. This was a horse for a while there. People thought was probably well, at least when the Breeders' Cup Juvenile a couple years ago, people thought it was a Derby contender. Didn't work out that way, but the horse seems to have found its stride again now, running pretty good races. Last time out, did finish third by a half a length to Express Train. And, well, you think it can flip that around?
I'm not really sure. I mean, he's one of the ones I like, but he finished third in his last race at Santa Anita. He does have Bob Baffert and John Velasquez, who are two really good winning trainer and jockey. His best dirt speed, he's tied with the horse above that I talked about. And anyway, he has a hot jockey combination, as I've been saying, that 5 starts, 2 wins, and a second.
Well, what's interesting to me about that jockey trainer combination between Bob Baffert and John Velasquez, they've run together 20 times so far, and they've managed to win 12 of those races, Terry. So it's a 60% win rate. And they've finished in the money 75% of the time, which is a pretty strong number as well. So 15 out of 20, they finished in the money. So they mostly win when they team up together. But you got Bob Baffert, and it's hard for me to think about Bob Baffert on the West Coast and getting a positive ROI anytime you're betting Bob Baffert. Yet when you team them up with John Velasquez, the two of them together have a plus 160 ROI. So for every dollar you bet, you get $1.60 profit back. That's an amazing number with Bob Baffert involved.
It is, absolutely. You're right about that. I didn't have any idea that was that good.
Yeah, that's it's amazing to me because Johnny Velasquez is a good jockey too. So
yes,
Spielberg is another Bob Baffert horse with Flavie and Pratt. They have won 6 of 14 races. Finished in the money 64% of the time, 2/3 of the time, but do not have a positive ROI. It's actually down a little bit there. Flavie and Pratt is obviously the top jockey out there, so you got to think Bob Baffert's putting his top jockey on his top horse. Is Spielberg the top horse?
Yeah, this horse looked really good last win at Santa Anita. He had been off for 9 months and comes back to win. He has a high percentage trainer, Bob Baffert, as you said, and Flavie and Pratt's just tearing it up down there. Sharp workout on January 29th, 1 minute and 2, handling 9th best out of 48.
But that race he should have won, Big Terry, because it was an optional claiming $80,000 race. It's not the kind of stuff he's been facing prior. Law Professor is our last horse of the day. This is a horse making its third start off a layoff, Terry. And the last time the horse had a 3-race cycle, it really regressed a little bit in the Santa Anita Derby, got blown out by Rock Your World. Maybe it can reverse course on that today. This is an all or nothing horse, Terry, and it either wins 7 races, 3 wins, finished third one time. Santa Anita, 5 races, only 2 wins, nothing else. So that's why I call it an all or nothing horse. Can it build off of its highest last race speed figure?
Well, it could. Maybe it won the last 2 races in a row and it's going for a hat trick. Has the highest last speed rating, and this trainer wins 26% of the time when it's the 3rd race after a layoff. The best dirt speed among today's starters, he's tied, and he has that really good workout, 47 flat for 4 furlongs, 2nd best out of 87. And I think what will happen is 8 Rings will go to the lead and try to win by being on the lead. And but I think American
Theorem.
Yeah, will may pressure 8 Rings, and Express Train, Law Professor, and Spielberg will close to try to catch 8 Rings. And I think Spielberg's going to catch him.
So you got Spielberg winning. What's your order?
Okay, I like Spielberg number 5 as my first one. I like Law Professor number 6 as my second choice. Express Train number 2 is my third choice, and 8 Rings number 4 is my fourth choice.
Well, we have the same 4 horses, just in a little bit different order, but not surprising in a 6-horse field. I look at that jockey trainer combo of Bob Baffert and John Velasquez hitting 12 of 20 together. Maybe he's got Flavian Pratt on Spielberg, but I wouldn't be surprised if 8 Rings pulls off the upset. I have Law Professor coming in second, Spielberg third, and Express Train fourth. Wouldn't surprise me if those 4 horses came in any order, but I do expect they'll be the top 4 horses in the field, Terry.
Yep.
So that wraps up our Saturday Stakes races, Terry. We also have, we did our Thursday podcast with Ty Kennedy over at Delta Downs. Unfortunately, a series of weird events has not allowed me to get that story up on the website yet, but I'm hoping to get it up in about the next hour or so you can go on over there. If not, you can watch the replay over at Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube. And if you're there, please subscribe. Hit the like button, give us thumbs up. And if you like what you saw, please, on Twitter or Facebook, you can subscribe at the same handles, Horse Race, the number 2, and then the word day. So Horse Race today. Any final thoughts, Terry, before we march on to our weekend?
No, just that I hope everybody has a good day, and I plan on having a good day. So yeah, nothing. I think next week's going to be a fun week, and I'm looking forward to the, Super Bowl. So going to have a Super Bowl party at my house.
Well, the Super Bowl's next weekend, Terry. I think.
I know.
I thought you meant this weekend. All right. So, yeah, we have a pretty good lineup for next week, too, over at the Horse Center for Sean and I. Monday, we have Tim Gleishaw. Tuesday, we have Mike Smith, Hall of Fame jockey. And then we have Tony Black on Wednesday. So that'll be a pretty good lineup right there. Yes, we're looking forward to that. And then we have also, what was I going to say, Terry? On Monday, Terry and I are going to do Turf Paradise. And we will be competing with track announcer Craig Braddock. So you're going to make sure you check out our picks at Turf Paradise as we square off with Craig Braddock. He will join us for a few minutes on Monday to talk a little bit of trash before we get started with our horse racing contest. And then Tuesday, of course, Terry and I will be back to talk about parks. Wednesday, we'll do Gulfstream. And Thursday, we'll be back to Aqueduct, where hopefully they run a whole card before the day ends.
Yeah.
All right, Terry, that's it for today. We certainly hope that your Saturday and all of your horse racing picks, Terry, end up in the
winner's circle.
Yes, have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.